Hello everybody, welcome to Ms. Maguire video lectures, and today we're covering anatomy of the reproductive system. So that's video part 1. Let's go ahead and begin. So reproductive system is another system of your body, and as any body system, it's made of organs. So in the reproductive system, we have primary reproductive organs or sex organs and accessory organs. So primary organs include gonads. Gonads are testes and ovaries, and they produce gametes, sperm and ova, that we call sex cells. And also secrete steroid sex hormones, androgens in males and estrogen and progesterone in females. And accessory organs will include ducts, glands, and external genitalia. Right, so, and here we have a table that compare male and female reproductive systems, right? So that pretty much like what we just said so far, like for example, different hormones. So his definition, male reproductive system, organ systems that produce male gametes, female produce female gametes. And main components of the accessory reproductive organ will include scrotum, testes, spermatic ducts, penis, and some glands, right? In male, and well, we will not include actually I apologize, that's all organs, not accessory organs, because we see testes and ovaries over here, right? Those are primary organs, and here the rest are accessory organs. In female, fallopian tubes, uterus, vagina, vulva, that is external genitalia, right? Location in the body, male mostly located outside of the body. Most of these accessory organs and even testes, and in female, mostly located inside the body, except of the vulva. Okay, and also development of a sperm is actually required temperature a little bit below body temperature. That's what it says. It needs cold environment and warm environment for female gamete production. So we're gonna start with male reproductive system, and we already mentioned primary organ testes, sperm producing male gonads that lie within the scrotum, so they are outside the body, and system of ducts. Epididymis, this is the one that's shown here on the top of the testes, and ductus deferens, that used to be called vas deferens. This is the tube that actually gonna enter pelvic cavity, and then it became ejaculatory duct, and then urethra goes back outside of the body cavity. And accessory glands will include seminal glands, shown over here. This is, by the way, urinary bladder, so seminal glands, then prostate, that is inferior to urinary bladder, seminal glands posterior to urinary bladder, and bulbourethral glands that would be located somewhere in this, no, right there. Right, yeah, bulbourethral gland at the crura of the penis. This part of the penis, right? Oh, I'm sorry, bulb. Yeah, the bulb of the penis and crura will connect penis to the pelvis. So bulb of the penis, that's why they're called bulbourethral gland. So here we can see the very quick diagram of the sperm production. So it involved mitosis and meiosis. right? So when we have, we start with spermatogonium, and this spermatogonium can divide by mitosis, producing more cells, and then through meiosis, we making a haploid sperm, right? So we start with 46 chromosome, that is 2N, and end up with 23 chromosomes, that is 1N. So here you can see the little bit of the structure of the scrotum. It's a muscular sac, helps to regulate temperature, and it has several muscles here. So we have, dartos muscle. That would be the muscle actually, okay, right here in the wall of the scrotum, right? And it's a subcutaneous muscle layer, and it's also gonna make a part of the scrotal septum. And cremaster muscle covers the testes and raises or lowers testes. And this muscle are used, as it says, to regulate temperature, because when it's cold, the muscles contract and bring testes a little bit close to the body, right? And when it's hot outside, the muscle will relax, and it will take testes away from the body. So that's, and your body pretty much warms them up, right, when you bring them close to the body. So that's how you regulate temperature. And this is a scrura that I told you about. So we have a penis, right? And the penis is made of glands of penis, then body that is made of the structure called corpus spongiosum, and then bulb of a penis. And there is another two erectile tissue, corpora cavernosa, and they extend to form crus of penis, and crus of penis attached to the pelvic bone. If you look inside the testes, we will see that we have again a series of tubular structure over here. So testes are divided into lobes by septa, and inside these lobes we have tubes that are called seminiferous tubules, and this is where the production of sperm happens. And then the testes are covered by tunica albuginea. That's tunica albuginea is comes from this white tunic, so it's structure that has a whitish appearance, and it's a connective tissue. And tunica albuginea also makes these septa that divide testes into lobules. And also then testes are covered by tunica vaginalis. A tunica vaginalis is a serous membrane. So we will have visceral and parietal tunica vaginalis. I don't see if, yeah, it shows over here. That's white structure over here, tunica vaginalis. So here's our seminiferous tubules for sperm development. Then they combine together. So they this tubules lead to a structure that's called retitestis, then efferent ductules, and then we have epididymis that also tubes. So pretty much lots of tubes where sperm will be produced, and then it will travel from testis to epididymis, right, to ductus deferens, to ejaculatory duct and urethra outside of body of male, hopefully to fertilize an egg. Inside the seminiferous tubules, we will have two types of cells, not two types, we have several types, two of them, Sertoli cells and germ cells. So over here, you can see like this bigger cells over here, this bigger nucleus. Those are Sertoli cells or sustentosites. And then we have cells that are called spermatogenic cells, and those are the ones that will divide and then develops into sperm. Right. Spermatogenesis is formation of sperm, occurs in seminiferous tubules, takes about 64 days, and new cycle starts every 16 days. So really, like male, they produce sperm through their whole life pretty much, and every 16 days, new cycle begins. And we will talk about this diagram more in physiology lecture, but that just shows us process. We start with the cell, the stem cells, or over here, the spermatogenic cells. So those are the same cells, spermatogenic cells, stem cells, and then they divide and they changing their name. So from spermatogonia to primary spermatocyte, secondary spermatocyte, then spermatids. And spermatids, that's a sperm that is not fully mature yet, and spermatozoa is motile, mature, kind of mature sperm that are ready to be ejected from the body of a male. So sperm, we have about 100-300 million processed daily. Huge amount, number of cells. Sperm really doesn't carry much of cytoplasm or organelles. It has the head. Inside this head, you pretty much has nucleus. Then lots of mitochondria. They organize like in a circular pattern inside midpiece, and they power flagellum, that is a tail, and that this tail allows sperm to move towards an egg. Right, so we have the production spermatogenesis begins in the seminiferous tubules. Then these spermatids move inside epididymis, and this is where they develop, fully develop. So that's epididymis, where we have sperm maturation, about 20 feet long if straightened, and it takes about 12 days to move through all these tubules. And they call it, nickname is swim school. That's where sperm start swimming, right? So we go from non-motile to a motile sperm. Ductus deferens is the next one. And it's inside structures that called spermatic cord. In the spermatic cord, we also will have blood vessels, lymphatic vessels, nerves. But one of the structures inside spermatic cord is vas deferens or ductus deferens. And you can see over here the path of the sperm from testes to epididymis, ductus deferens, inside pelvic cavity. You go kind of like around and behind urinary bladder, and then enters ejaculatory duct that is inside prostate gland, and then urethra. Now, semen is a fluid that is ejaculated, and sperm makes only 5% of that semen. The rest will be fluid from these accessory glands, seminal vesicles, prostate, and a little bit from bulbourethral gland. However, bulbourethral are mostly for lubrication, so they produce mucousy substance. So here we can see even better, that's a posterior view. So we can see seminal vesicles, right? And you can see the duct of seminal vesicle and duct of vas deferens or ductus deferens, they come together right over here and then form ejaculatory duct. In the seminal vesicle, we have a lot of fructose used by sperm mitochondria as an energy source. Then prostate gland inferior to urinary bladder, fluid that coagulates, then decoagulates as semen, and doubles in size during puberty, starts to enlarge at age of 25. So this fluid So, important for nourishment as well, and for activation of sperm inside the prostate gland. And you know that you have urethra within prostate gland. That's why when, male has enlarged seminal vesicle and it starts up to 25, it can constrict this prostatic urethra and might cause some problem with urination. Now, bulbourethral glands, thick salty fluid lubricates urethra and vagina, and that's what we call pre-ejaculate. So first we will have some fluids pre-ejaculate, and then fluids then semen, pretty much. Right, so you can see that's our crus of penis, this is the bulb of penis, and this is urethra inside the penis. I think the next slide might show us structure of male urethra. Yeah, right here. Penis is organ of copulation. It's flaccid for non-sexual activities and target rod-like with sexual arousal. And it's made of 3 columns, a column-like chamber. So over here you can see 1, 2, 3 column-like chamber. And this one where urethra is, that's a corpus spongiosum. And these 2 are corpora cavernosa. Now, corpus cavernosum is singular, corpora cavernosa are plural because we have 2 of them. Now, inside corpus spongiosum, we have spongy urethra, and we have good amount of blood vessels within all this tissue. We call it erectile tissue. Now, you can see here when the penis is over here, it's like all these blood vessels are filled with blood, right? Engorged with the blood, and those erectile tissue expand. And this is what make a penis target, right, with the sexual arousal. Now, the penis itself is made of glands of penis that has high concentration of nerve endings, the body, and the bulb of penis over here that we already looked at. So engorging with the blood cause tissue to swell, and it's cause erection of the penis. Also, the glands of penis are covered with prepuce, or another name is foreskin. Okay, so here's the again erection. To initiate erection, we need nitric oxide. That's a vasodilator, and it will dilate these penile arteries, right, and bring more blood to the penis, and then veins, they will retain this blood. Average length of penis is 15 centimeters. I need to change it to inches so you guys can understand better. But yeah, that's erection. Now, for sperm production, we need testosterone. Testosterone is secreted by the testes. There are special cells called interstitial endocrine cells. Right, so those yellow stuff, that's our Sertoli cells or sustentosites. The smaller cells, our spermatogenic cells. So finally we get a sperm, right? And interstitial, like between those Sertoli cells, we have endocrine cells that secrete testosterone. And testosterone is necessary for sperm production, maturation, and secondary sex characteristic in males. And we talk about it more in physiology. That's it for male reproductive system, for anatomy only. And we are moving to female reproductive system, again made of female gonads that we call ovaries, produce female gametes, ova, and secrete female sex hormone, estrogen, and progesterone. Internal genitalia located in pelvic cavity includes ovaries and duct system, uterine tubes, uterus, vagina, and external genitalia include external sex organs that we will talk about in a minute. So here's our external genitalia. Another name is vulva that has mons pubis, right? This area where you have pubic hair growing, labia majora, folds of hair-covered skin posterior to mons pubis. Then we have labia minora, extended medial to the labia majora. So this one minora, this is, majora, minora. Then clitoris for sexual sensation. Hymen is a thin membrane covering vagina, and it's ruptured after, first, most of the time ruptured after first intercourse. And we have Bartholin's gland. Those are the gland over here that are called also great vestibular gland. Vestibular glands produce again mucus for lubrication. Vagina shown here, it's a muscular tube about 10 centimeters long, entrance to reproductive tract and exit for blood flow during menses and childbirth. Layers will include adventitia, smooth muscle, and mucous membrane with rugae, so that vagina. Also, it has a normal microbial flora, mostly lactobacilli. Ovaries are female gonads located in the pelvic cavity, and they have we have the whole system of ligaments here that support uterus and ovaries, hold them in place. Like over here it says mesovarium, broad ligament. So that's a broad ligament. Then we have over here ovarian ligament. Now the ovaries ourselves covered by tunica albuginea, the same as testes. So here's our ovarian cycle. So pretty much tell us about development of egg and the follicle, because egg will be inside the follicle. I apologize, but this is for physiology part. Excuse me. So we have vagina, we have uterus, and we have uterine tubes, or what we used to call fallopian tubes. They conduct for oocyte from ovary to uterus. So oocyte is made inside the ovaries, and then it's picked up by fallopian tube. Fallopian tube is not directly connected to the uterus, and it has section. Isthmus is the most narrow part. Then it would be infundibulum and ampulla over here, right? So isthmus, ampulla, infundibulum. Estrogen causes smooth muscles to contract, and this is how the oocyte moves within these uterine tubes. Oocyte cannot move on its own. Like sperm has this flagellum, and sperm is a cell that can move on its own. Oocyte need to be pretty much pushed from the this infundibulum toward the uterus. And by the way, the ovulation happens within uterine tube. So the sperm has long journey from vagina to the uterus to the fallopian tube, and somewhere in this area where ampulla is, it fertilizes an egg. Now, uterus itself is a muscular organ, supports growing embryo, and it's made of fundus, body, and cervix that we cannot see over here, but back to this picture. So that's a fundus, that's a body, and this is the cervix. But here we have histology of the uterus. So it's made of perimetrium, that is outside layer, myometrium, that's a portion of myometrium shown over here, and thick endometrium. And endometrium itself is divided into two strata, stratum functionalis and stratum basalis. And stratum functionalis, this is the one that will be shed during menstruation. Right, so here it changes to the uterine lining, shed, rebuild, repairs for implantation, shed, rebuild, prepares for implantation, and this menstrual cycle lasts 28 days. And menses phase, when lining is shed, that is 2 to 7 days, and that's what we call menstruation. And what will be shed again, it will be this stratum functionalis. Now we will talk more about menstrual cycle, obviously in physiology part. Then in accessory reproductive organ is the breast. So it has areola, it has nipple. The breast is mostly composed of mammary glands, right? So you can see those glands over here. This is our exocrine glands. The mammary glands produce milk, right, during lactation, when female are breastfeeding. Now this secretion from mammary glands flow inside lactiferous sinuses over here. Now, the glands itself has the structure called alveoli. They hold together by suspensory ligament. I don't know, I think this white, yes, this white structure shows suspensory ligament. And lots of space within a breast is also filled with fat tissue. So the size of a breast mostly depends on the amount of fat tissue within the breast, not the number of mammary glands. So females with pretty small glands might have, produce a lot of milk because they have, good amount of these mammary glands. Now, breast cancer. The 10% due to hereditary defects, including mutation in genes that is BRCA1 or BRCA1, BRCA2. 50 to 80 develop breast cancer if they have mutation in those genes, and a greater risk for ovarian cancer as well. So if female is suspected to have a breast cancer, and if she has a breast cancer, they will test on her genetics, and they will see if she has mutation in BRCA1, BRCA2 gene, and that, the treatment will depend on if they have mutation or not as well. So early development, early detection through self-examination and mammography. Now, mammogram are recommended every year when female is over 40. So you can see over here the cancer in 1 to 3 lymph nodes in the axilla or near to breastbone. So they show this cancer like with this yellow little tumors here. And then this show us stage 2 cancer. Tumor is 2 centimeters or smaller, and tumor is larger than 2 centimeters, but not larger than 5 centimeters. Right, so here's, so there is different, of course, procedure how to diagnose stages of breast cancer. But breast cancer, it can be local and just affect the breast tissue and local lymph nodes. But if it's entering lymph nodes, there is a huge possibility that with the lymph, it will spread through the body. Treatment depends on characteristic of lesion. It can be radiation, chemotherapy, surgery, often followed by radiation and chemotherapy to destroy stray cells, drug for estrogen responsive cancers. So here we can have, when we're talking about surgery, it can be radical mastectomy, when removes breast, all underlying muscles, fascia, associated lymph nodes, lumpectomy. Then we remove only cancerous limb. Simple mastectomy, when we remove only breast tissue, sometimes some axillary lymph nodes, and some have breast reconstruction. Right, so is it a radical or simple mastectomy or lumpectomy? So either remove breast or remove just the cancer with the surrounding tissue. And here we can see the mammogram taking, and this is film of normal breast and film of breast with tumor, shows a malignancy. Okay, and the last couple slides we have over here, I will go very quickly over it because again, we will cover it more in physiology, but you know, how we developed into males and females. We know that in females, they have two X chromosomes and male have X and Y chromosomes. But interesting is that at the early stages of development, like at 6 weeks of fetal development, the internal reproductive organs have potential to develop into male or female structures. So we all start with the same model, right? And we have potential to be developed into males or females. So by week 10, if we have XY chromosome, then the male will have SRY protein. So the chromosomes, Y chromosome, it has this gene that will develop, has instruction for development of this protein. And then what happened, then we have this bipotential stage will proceed to a male scenario, right? This duct that belong to female will disappear, and we will end up with testes and male duct system. If this gene is absent, protein is absent, then the embryo develops into female, right? And we end up with vagina, uterus, and oviduct, and so on, right? So we develop toward the female internal and external genitalia. And the same happened, with external genitalia bipotential stage at week 6, and then at week 10, it depends if you have testosterone or not in the blood at this point. The embryo will develop into a male at birth or female at birth, right? So pretty much, what it's saying that we have different chromosomes, and this Y chromosome will be responsible for SRY protein. And because of presence of this protein, we will develop testes. And because we develop testes, we start secreting testosterone, and the external genitalia develops into male genitalia. If we do not have this gene, we develop ovaries, and a lack of testosterone will lead to development of female external genitalia, right? And further development at puberty also will depend on hormones. And as the hormones, this is pituitary gland, and pituitary gland release LH and FSH, luteinizing and follicle stimulating hormone, in both males and females, but in females, this release will be in cycle, right? So we will have a surge of LH, right? We will decrease or increase of these hormones in a circular manner every month. In males, we will have pretty much equal release of this hormone through their entire life, and it also will affect our gonads and production of testosterone, estrogen, and progesterone, plus, of course, maturation of our sex cells. Secondary sex characteristic also will be affected by sex hormones, estrogen and testosterone. In men, it will be increased layering size, increased muscular development, growth of facial hair, growth of pubic hair. In women, deposition of fat in the breast and hips, breast development, broadening of pelvis, and also growth of pubic hair. Right, so that's it for this video lecture. Thank you for watching, and I hope it was helpful.